It's kind of exciting that we got it over there without the windshield breaking. And that windshield, even though it made it really top heavy and very scary to move it, kept the cap from going rhombusy and making it so that we knew the windshield would always fit. Sometimes if you put the cap on incorrectly, the windshield never fits again. You have to completely remodify it. I'm not saying that's happened to me, but a friend of mine. I can't speak for what the factory does sometimes, because usually they put the headlights on, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. Pay no attention to me. I'm gonna go back to work. Well, I think we got it ready to go, so I'm starting to glue down on the roof. It's all been pre-drilled. I'm using Sikaflex 505. Nice urethane adhesive. Putting it underneath there. And I don't care about it being pretty. As you can tell. Alright, so these screws will clamp it down to the roof. There's that metal band underneath there. So we'll link the roof and the front cap together. There's still another piece of molding that goes over the whole thing. That's what these other holes are for. So that'll go over the top. Go still on top of that. So it's just going to ooze out. All we're doing is trying to do is glue these whole things together. Now, the factory would have used epoxy, but the factory would have had a much better setup than what we're working with here. So this will work just fine. It may not be visible. These little black marks right there is just where wiring's running through the ceiling. I don't want to hit it with anything. Okay, so that's squeezed out pretty well everywhere. Now I'll just wipe it down. Make it look pretty. We'll be ready for the next stop, or next step in about 2 weeks when we're painting this thing. Alright, so hopefully if you can hear me. So I've cleaned that all up. Once this stuff sets up, those two surfaces should be bonded together permanently until somebody gets in there with a wedge. Now I can take my safety strap off, and now I can finish securing the front cap all the way around, doing the exact same thing. So here's the rear cap. You can see it's doing the same thing. So that's a piece of molding, and then they just hide that seam on the side with a piece of molding and paint it. But this is the gel coat fiberglass roof looks like. And this is Newflex 311 self-leveling silicone on the Tiffin. Tiffin and Winnebago use the same roof sealant. So this is not Dicor, this is silicone. So this side's all been secured top to bottom. Just using that piece of angle as a clamp to keep that thin piece of fiberglass right there from puckering or buckling. And all these screws are really just temporary. All they come back off once the adhesive actually sets up. So this is the inexact science of decals and masking. So you can see right here, that line actually that matches pretty well. Now this is both these are 2019 Tiffin Reds, so they use the same paint decals, but when they're not decals, but they use they look like yellow decals as masking for the paint line. So that one laid out perfectly. This one maybe off by ½ an inch. So it's an inexact science. It's put on by people. And what I always say is it's really impossible to see both sides at the same time. So as long as it looks pretty good, we should be good. So you can see that one's off a little bit, but the one below it's pretty good. All right, do the other side and we'll be ready to do the floor. And now we got a bit of a shop at the front. I think we're looking really good, guys. Obviously, I still have this whole guy to wire back up again. There's a lot going on in there, and nothing should be coming out of the fuel door like that. But one thing at a time. I think we're doing really well. All right, so right now I'm just trying to figure out this mess of wires. What goes up there? What goes across there? What goes over to the entertainment center right there? So I know a lot of these were routed wrong, so they're gonna have to go back up the firewall there. But there's a big mess right there. I'm not gonna bore anybody trying to figure that out. Hopefully it'll be figured out. Alright, well, believe it or not, this is actually mapped out pretty well now. So everything needs to be in the dash is there. Everything needs to be in the driver's console is either sticking out there, or it's going to be going down into the electrical box down in there. These wires need to be connected, routed up through here. Some of those wires need to be moved from going out to going up. But I think we're about ready to commit this cap down and start rebuilding this thing. Alright, and with that, it may not look like it, but this wire has been wrestled, and I think it's where it's supposed to be at this point. Have to get the cabinets installed, and of course the floor fixed, and then we can do the dash. So I got all of our supports underneath removed out of the way. All the wiring that was damaged right up there has been repaired. That's just the step cover wiring. Our mirror wiring's done, and everything, the cap's been glued on. So on the inside, we chipped away all the old thin set off the floor. We'll have to finish the spacing on that, and then we can put the floor in. Once the floor goes in, then we can start rebuilding this dash. Once the dash is rebuilt, then we can move up to the top and start building those cabinets, putting the seat in, cutting that out, and then putting the rest of the cabinets in up here. Sure doesn't look like we did anything, but I assure you we did a lot. I think once this flooring's in, the next part's going to go pretty fast. Alright, so we finished another day of rebuilding this Tiffin Red. This is a 2019. I thought it was older than that. And yes, for all of you wondering, right here gets carpet. Just to pretty it up. You can kind of see the adhesive that was still on it. It's just going to look just like this under the seats. I mean, they don't have to put carpet under the seats. It's only here to help cushion it and get rid of vibrations. They think of everything, don't they? Especially, for some reason, they love putting the slide out switch on this seat. Because why wouldn't you put a slide out switch on a seat? Right? Makes sense.